Hello there, it's Samantha. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi. My name is Samantha, and this is my channel where I talk all about books. Anyway, today I'm coming to you with a video which is quite overdue. I was planning to film this video back in October, but I have completely fallen off of the YouTube wagon because my fiance was in a car accident. So yes, that has put everything on hold. But I'm back. Anyway, so yeah, this is really late and I'm currently filming this on the 23rd of November, so we'll see how long it takes me to edit it, but really I wanted to post it in October, so I'm sorry, but here we are. Today I'm doing the end of the year book tag. This was created by Ariel from Ariel Bissett. I think I did this tag last year. I can't remember. I have done this tag before, so whenever I've done it before, I'll link it down below in case you're interested, although obviously it is irrelevant now, but I sometimes still like to go back and see what people were reading last year out of curiosity. But anyway, the first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So I have a few. I've DNF'd quite a few books this year, which I haven't spoken about all the time. But some of them have been like very strong, like not coming back to this ever, and some of them are more like I will come back to it, but I'm just not sure when. So one of those books, which was like a DNF for now, was Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. I started this book a long time ago. I think it was in the summer or maybe even the spring I started reading this book. I was reading the ebook and I was mainly reading it when I was over at Alex's house. Alex is my fiance, and so yeah, whenever I was at his I would read little bits of it and I just couldn't really get fully into it, but it's a book that I definitely want to go back to at some point because I feel like it has the potential for me to really love it. It's just one of those books that you have to work for it quite a bit, I think, with that book, so I think it'll be worth it in the end. It's a book that I want to read when I'm not distracted by other things, which now is not a great time for those sorts of books, but so I won't be finishing that by the end of the year, but that is a book that I started this year that I have not finished. And then I have quite a few other DNFs, but those were like hard DNFs, like I'm not coming back to it. And then I have two books that I have started and I do intend to finish. So the first one of those is Emma by Jane Austen. I have this really cute little copy, which I haven't actually been reading from because I'm worried about it because it's quite fragile. So I've been reading the ebook or the audiobook. I lost my loan of the audiobook back in the summer and I have not continued on since. So I need to get the audiobook back from my library and then I will continue on with this. I was reading it physically as well, but I just like the audiobook quite a bit. So yeah, I will continue on with this and hopefully finish it by the end of the year. And then another one that I randomly started, which I'm not like dying to read because it's a reread, but that is Stop in the Name of Pants by Louise Redison, the 9th book in the Georgia Nicholson series. I just have 2 books left in my reread of the series, so once I'm done with them, I am gonna get rid of them, but I do want to finish my reread just because I can't exactly remember how it ends up. Like I know who Georgia ends up with. So basically the whole series is about her sort of, it's like a coming of age and she's just starting to like date boys and all that, and yeah, she got like an obsession with this one boy and then there's at least 2 others. So yeah, I know who she ends up with in the end, but I can't remember how exactly we get there. So yeah, the last 2 books will tell me that, and they're both really short and really quick reads because like if you look at it, the text is quite huge and the margins are enormous. So I'll definitely be finishing this, but I'm not like in a rush to read it. But yeah, I started this on the day that Alex got out of hospital. We were supposed to get home at like 5 p.m. but the transport from the hospital was so slow that it would end up being 1 in the morning. And while I was waiting, I started reading this and I read the first 30 pages. Anyway, so yeah, these 2 are the main ones that I would ideally like to finish by the end of the year, but it's also like not a huge priority. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And I actually have this year. I have been reading the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson, and that definitely has the autumnal vibes. It is so fun. I can't believe I've been sleeping on it for this long, but I read Truly Devious. I started it when I was on holiday actually in Mexico, so that was August, but I didn't finish it until September. And then I read the next 2 books on audio, and I haven't read the 4th one yet, and then the 5th one is coming out later this year, so that's exciting, and you might hear about that in a couple questions. But yeah, I've really been enjoying that. It basically, if you don't know, follows our main character Stevie Bell, and it's set in this very fancy boarding school. I think it's in Vermont, in like up in the mountains. Anyway, and basically it's called the Ellingham Academy, and Albert Ellingham, he opened the school back in the 30s, and shortly after opening the school, his wife and daughter are kidnapped, and it is an unsolved case. Anyway, so Stevie has always been super interested in this. She wants to be a detective when she's older, so she goes to the school to also continue her research on this Truly Devious case because the kidnapper signed like the ransom letter Truly Devious. Anyway, so yeah, she goes to try and solve the Truly Devious case, and it seems like Truly Devious is back because some murders start happening. Anyway, it is really fun. It's quite funny and light at times, but also like there are murders happening and it is a bit dark. So yeah, nice juxtaposition of those two things. But I really am enjoying the series. So far it is a 4-star series for me, but that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it. I'm having such a fun time with it, and I'm really looking forward to reading the 4th book and the 5th book when that one comes out. But yeah, so I'd have to say those, and then also I did read the first Mistborn book, and that also was quite a good autumnal book because a big part of that is like mist everywhere, like during the nighttime it's like very misty everywhere, so yeah, it kind of goes with the autumnal vibes as well. The next question is there a new release you're still waiting for? The only new release on my radar at the moment is the 5th Truly Devious book, which I can't remember the title, but cover will be there. Yeah, like I said, I've really been enjoying this series. I'm planning to start the 4th audiobook soon and then finish the whole series. I don't know if it's going to continue on past this one, but I feel like this is the last one. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that this one is the last one. But yeah, definitely that one. Apart from that, I don't actually know what's coming out. Like, I've been sleeping on all of the new releases this year. I think I've read like maybe 2 books that came out in 2022. Like, all of my other books that I've read this year have been backlist titles. So yeah, I'm really far behind on all of the new releases from this year. I just haven't been keeping up with them. And I want to check more of them out, but I just haven't really been reading that much recently for obvious reasons, but I have been getting back into reading. Let me know what your favorite book that you've read this year is that's been released this year. Otherwise, just actually let me know what your favorite book you've read this year is. I want to know. The next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So apart from the one that I just mentioned, obviously I want to read that new Truly Devious book, which I can't remember the title of, but whatever. I just started reading, like literally today I started reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, so I'd like to finish that before the end of the year because I don't want to lose my library loan. So yeah, I want to read that one. Kind of weird timing because I know that that's set in the summer, I believe, so this isn't the best timing for it. And then I also want to continue on with the Mistborn trilogy, and I want to read The Well of Ascension, which is book number 2 in the series, which is quite the chunky book. So yeah, this is going to be quite a chunker for me to read. Okay, this is going to be 4 books, but I need to finish my reread of the Mortal Instruments series. I've really fallen behind on the Shadowhunter read-along, so I still have to read City of Lost Souls and City of Heavenly Fire. I've read all of the Infernal Devices now, but I just haven't caught up with the Mortal Instruments yet. So yeah, I really want to finish rereading that series because also I've never reread those last 2 books. I've read all of the other books 3 times now, but I just haven't ever reread City of Lost Souls or City of Heavenly Fire. So yeah, I'd like to finish those 2 as well. I know that's 4 books, but the next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I would say probably not. My favorite book of the year, I don't want to spoil what it is, but it is a non-fiction book, which I am absolutely obsessed with still. So I don't think anything is going to knock that off the top spot. Apart from actually this other non-fiction book I read, which was fantastic. Like, those 2 are almost tied, but I think one of them overtakes the other one slightly. So yeah, those 2 would be really, really, really difficult to beat. I think I'm going to really struggle making my favorites video this year because there aren't that many fiction titles which really stood out to me this year. Mainly just non-fiction is what I've been enjoying the most, but I haven't been reading enough of it either because one of my goals was to read 1 non-fiction book a month, and I definitely think I've fallen behind on that, which is a bit of a shame. So that's another thing I need to keep in mind for this last month and a week. Jesus Christ, just a month and a week left of 2022. That's crazy. But yeah, I would like to get some nonfiction in there as well. So who knows? Maybe, but I don't know. It's difficult. And I also don't know what my favorite books of the year are, apart from those 2 that I'm certain of, but yeah, we'll see. And the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? And the answer to that is no. I feel like my reading goals for this year have just completely fallen by the wayside, and I have not completed any of them, I feel like. Apart from my main goal, which was to read 52 books, I have done that. I've actually surpassed that, which is nice. Although if you go on Storygraph, it won't say that because Storygraph doesn't count DNFs, and I do count DNFs when it gets to a certain point. Like if I've I've read like half the book. I'm going to count that as read even though I didn't actually finish the book, but in my mind that counts because I've invested a lot of time into that. So Storygraph will tell you otherwise, but to me, I've actually completed that goal. Some of my other goals were like more like genre specific, like read more nonfiction, which isn't a genre, it's a category, but whatever, and read more fantasy, I think was one of them maybe, or historical fiction, that was definitely one of them, and then to read one nonfiction book a month. So I think maybe I would keep that nonfiction goal. Like maybe I would carry some of those goals over and do them again next year. But in terms of the number of books, I'm actually going to set my goal to just one book, because I feel like if I focus on the numbers too much, then I'm too concerned about like, oh, I don't want to pick up that book because even though I think I'm going to love it, it's 700 pages and I'm already behind on my goal, you know? So if I set it for just one book, then I don't need to worry about, you know, falling behind on my goal. I think that's my plan, is to just set it to one book, set it to like maybe 100 pages on Storygraph because you can set a pages goal. So yeah, I'll set it to like 100 pages and then we'll just see how much I can do. I am about to start a job at a library though, which I haven't spoken about, but yeah, I just got a job as a library assistant, so I feel like that will probably broaden my horizons a bit with my reading and also encourage me to read more because, you know, I'm going to be talking to people about books as my job, which is so exciting. Yeah, so hopefully I will read a lot more than I have been recently. But yeah, obviously like some pretty big life events have happened, so yeah, it's been a bit slower on the reading, especially this last month, than it had been, but that's okay. But anyway, those were all the questions for the end of the year book tag. I'm not actually gonna be tagging anyone because, as I already said, it's quite late in the year to be posting this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry that's been such a long time since my last one, but hopefully I'm back now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit thumbs up. If you're new, feel free to subscribe down below, and I will hopefully see you very soon with another video. Bye. Don't look at me!
I thought you were screaming with me, sorry.
No!
Sorry.
He was supposed to get home and like
What are you doing?
making faces at you for fun.
You finished already?
No, not yet.
So, why are you still stopping?
I'm just making faces at you.